I'm sure you've been there, scrolling through endless listings of 15000W generators that look perfect on the photo, only to wonder if they'll actually keep the lights on when the storm hits or the job site runs out of power. You end up buying something that either sputters when you need it most or sits in the garage gathering dust because it's too bulky or just too complicated. That hesitation is real, and it's why I wanted to break down the Pulsar PG15KVTWBCO before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the portable generator market is a minefield of hype. Most manufacturers trumpet peak watts, but they rarely tell you how long the unit can actually run a typical load, how it behaves on different fuels, or what safety features are really protecting your family. In the case of the Pulsar PG15KVTWBCO, the headline numbers are impressive: 15,000W peak, 12,000W running, dual fuel capability, a 713 cubic centimeters twin engine, and an electric start. Those specs alone sound like a perfect fit for everything from a weekend camping trip to an entire house backup, but the real test is how those features translate into daily usability. The first thing that sets this generator apart from a lot of the competition is the dual fuel option. Most entry-level units force you to choose between gasoline or a propane tank, and each fuel has its own quirks. Gasoline is cheap but degrades over time, while propane is cleaner but requires a larger tank for the same runtime. With the Pulsar, you can start on gasoline for a quick warm-up, then switch to propane for a longer, cleaner burn when you're settled in. In practice, that means you could run a small refrigerator, a few power tools, and a few lights on gasoline during the first hour of an outage, then swap to a 20-pound propane tank and keep those same loads going for another 3 to 4 hours without worrying about fuel quality. For people who live in areas with harsh winters, the ability to keep a propane tank inside the house and run the generator outside is a genuine convenience that many single-fuel units can't match. Who should consider this generator? If you're a full-time contractor who needs a reliable power source for a day-long job site, the 50A outlet and the multiple 120V receptacles let you plug in a table saw, a compressor, and a work light all at once without constantly swapping cords. If you live in a region where storms can knock out the grid for an entire weekend, the dual fuel flexibility and the sizable 713 cubic centimeters engine give you the confidence that you won't run out of juice before the power company does. Even serious campers who like to run a portable fridge, a microwave, and a few USB chargers will find the switchover between fuels useful when the campsite only offers propane. On the flip side, if you're an apartment dweller who only needs a generator for occasional backup during rare outages, the size and weight of the Pulsar may be overkill. It weighs around 200 pounds, and while it has wheels, loading it onto a rooftop or into a small trunk is a chore. For those who only need to power a single TV and a couple of lights for a few hours, a smaller 3000W inverter generator would be more manageable and quieter. Speaking of safety, the CO Sentry Auto Shutoff is a feature that shouldn't be glossed over. Carbon monoxide is invisible and deadly, and many cheap generators lack any detection system. The CO Sentry monitors exhaust gases and automatically shuts the engine down if dangerous levels are detected. In real-world terms, that gives you peace of mind when you're using the unit in a tight space like a garage or a covered patio. I've seen friends forget to move their generator far enough from a partially open door and end up with a near miss. With CO Sentry, the unit itself becomes a safety net. Runtime is another practical angle that buyers obsess over. The Pulsar's fuel tank holds roughly 9 gallons of gasoline, which translates to about 10 hours at 50% load. When you switch to a 20 pounds propane tank, you're looking at roughly 67 hours of continuous operation at the same load. Those numbers are not just theoretical. They come from the manufacturer's own testing, and they line up with what you'd expect from a 713 cubic centimeters twin engine. If you plan to run a refrigerator, a few lights, and a sump pump during a blackout, you'll be comfortably within that 50% load range, meaning the generator won't be screaming at full throttle the whole time. Mobility is often an overlooked factor until you actually need to move the unit. The Pulsar comes with a sturdy steel frame, 2 10-inch rubber tires, and a handle that folds out for easy pulling. In my own experience with similar-sized generators, the wheel design makes a huge difference when you're trying to navigate a gravel driveway or a campsite trail. The wheels roll smoothly enough that you can push it from the garage to the back of the house without a dolly, but you'll